Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're here today to bring you everything entertainment in the world of TikTok, news, movies,
social media,
TV,
everything.
Social, the whole 9 yards. And sis, I can't even talk. Sis, you're going first.
All right. So first one I want to talk about is it's a movie that is on Epix. It's on Hulu. And you can get it on Paramount Plus, and it's called Breaking News from Yuba County.
Breaking news from Yuba?
Yuba, yeah.
Okay.
Yuba. Yeah. Funny, hilarious, dark comedy.
Okay.
I love it. The cast is amazing. Mila Kunis is on there. Allison Janney, Regina Hall, Aquafina is on there.
Okay, all right.
There's a lot of people in this movie. So I mean, it's great. It's like they put the people in place are placed so well. Whoever put this together,
Like the casting director?
yes,
Okay.
he is a genius.
Or she.
Or she.
Yep.
They, them, whoever.
Yeah, they're geniuses.
Genius, yeah. All right, so it's about this lady, Sue, who's played by Allison Janney. She gets no love. She's like treated like crap by everyone. She's a really sweet lady, but she's always being like walked all over.
Okay.
So, excuse me. So what happens is this day is her birthday. So she's like, she's all excited. She goes to the grocery store to go get her cake that she got made for herself.
Oh, okay.
And then it says, "Happy birthday, suck." S-U-C. Yeah, so she's like, I think somebody forgot to finish the E. And the lady just looks at her and was just like, "Are you paying card or cash?"
Because what's her name?
Sue.
Oh, Sue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they just didn't finish the E. Yeah.
They were supposed to change the C into an E.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. I was
And
like, wait a minute.
and then they wouldn't even do it. They're just like,
They're
you're
terrible.
gonna pay for this or not?
Right.
So then she leaves. I mean, like, it's just she has like such a horrible time. This little lady.
Aww.
Then finds out you find out immediately her husband's cheating on her. Immediately.
Oh, wow.
She's coming from the grocery store and he's on the phone, like having phone sex with
Oh, my goodness.
some other lady. I mean, it is, I don't know, it's sad, but it's funny how it all happens. Then he just dips out on her. She's having a full conversation with him and he just walks out the door and she's like, oh, she's not even paying attention that, hey, your husband is leaving
Right.
on your birthday. Like, you made these reservations for
That's
dinner.
fair, yeah.
And he's walked out of the house with a bag and, left the door open because if he closed it, you would hear him.
Oh, gosh.
That's horrible. Anyway, it gets so into it because now she's going to, follow her husband. She's like, oh, my God, it's so great. I'm getting to see, my husband's going to do all this fantastic stuff for me. No, wrong. He goes to a motel. He's sleeping with the mistress.
Oh, my
She
goodness.
has these affirmations that she keeps telling herself, how she's worthy and how she's loved and all this other stuff. So as she's going into all of this, she's crying, she is sobbing, and she's walking towards the hotel. Mm-hmm. So now she gets the motel. She gets to the lady at the motel, and she tells the lady, she was like, I locked my keys for the motel inside. I'm in room such and such. Can you give me the keys? Mm-hmm. And the lady was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then she's like, oh yeah, what a way to have celebrate my birthday.
Yeah.
And the lady grabs her hand and tells her happy birthday. That's the only person
The whole
movie
Oh
that
my
tells her
gosh.
happy birthday.
Oh, my gosh, that's terrible.
Her sister, played by Mila Kunis, nah,
Nothing.
doesn't tell her. She's even trying to hint on the phone, hey, special day. And her sister's wrapped up in herself. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, it's just all weird. But then what ends up happening? She busts into the room, into the motel, sees her husband getting it on with the lady.
Yeah.
She is just standing there like a little mouse and looking at them, and then they're so involved with each other they're not even paying attention. And she says his name and he just looks up, boom, heart attack, falls off the bed, dead.
Oh, my goodness.
So now with that, she's like, okay, I gotta do something about this. Like, she grabs the flowers that, her husband got flowers. She's thinking it's for herself. No, it's for the mistress. She grabs the flowers. She's smelling them. She's talking to her dead husband who's laying on the floor. She's like, what am I going to do with you? She buries him.
Wait, where's the mistress?
She told the mistress, you got to go.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I was like,
out.
The mistress helped?
Yeah, no, the mistress, she told the mistress, she's grabbed her by the face and she was like, I'm worthy. I'm loved. And like, she does her own affirmations in this lady's face.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So then the lady's like, you're crazy. And she's like, you should just leave and I'll handle this. So, and then like, why is it that your first instinct is, let me bury my husband, not, maybe I should call 911 because you just dropped out of a heart attack. You didn't kill him.
Yeah. Like, you had nothing to be nervous about.
Yeah. I guess it was just that she didn't want to get out, that he was in a motel and like cheating on her or whatever. I don't know if that's the only thing I could possibly think of. So then come to find out, her husband has a whole nother life that he he is working for this Asian kingpin, and Aquafina is the daughter who goes around and she's just like, I need to get this money. Like, I mean, like, the wife knows nothing about it. Like, it's just like, Sue knows nothing. Buries him, buries a suitcase full of money.
Because she didn't even look in it?
Because she didn't look in it. She just thought, oh, it's his bag.
Clothes.
It's his clothes. Yeah. So
I don't
now,
want to see his mistress wearing clothes.
Yeah. So she doesn't even like see, like, she doesn't look in the bag. She doesn't see him. She doesn't like really pay attention. Now they're coming for her. It's like, hey, where's your husband? She's like, he's missing. She made this whole thing up, tells her sister, who is a like local reporter, like, police come looking for him and everything. Like, she goes to the police. Well, actually, she goes to the police, tells the police, hey, my husband's missing. And then she's so quiet about it that the whole police station is like awry and everything, and she just leaves.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
She tells her sister. The sister's like, oh, like, well, why didn't you say something? She's like, why didn't you call the police? She was like, I went to the police station. So then it's like more into it. Now the sister is like, she has a little tiny spot in like a news channel or something like that. Something like Channel 8 or whatever. So she has this tiny spot that she's trying to tell everybody about her sister's missing husband and blah, 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 blah. And then it's like not enough clout for Sue. Sue needs more. So now Sue goes to the bigger reporter.
Okay.
And talks to this lady. And now everybody's like, oh my God, like, just stay strong. I love you. You're a great person. So now she's getting all this attention and she loves it. Like, the police come in.
She's
like,
never gotten attention before in her life, it sounds like.
So then the police are coming to her and they're just like, hey, like, we need to take you down to the station for questioning for your husband's missing, for your husband being missing. And she's like, how many cameras are going to be there? What? Like, you just asked how many cameras are going to be there?
Right.
Like,
that's great. To talk about your missing husband.
Yeah, your husband's supposedly missing. I mean, it's so much into it. And I mean, it's tied up in a nice little care package for you to go home and like think about when you watch the end of the movie. I mean, it's funny. It's worth watching. It looks like a movie that's like, you would think it would be like an old movie. It's really not that old. I think it just came out last year. But like, it's filmed like it's supposed to be like not the best like way to capture, like maybe like a D-list movie. It's filmed like a D-list movie where the camera's not all
even though
that
it has
good.
all these major characters in it, they're just like making it look like something else.
Everybody go ahead, check it out. Breaking news from Yuba County. I'm trying to tell you, it's funny.
It sounds
it's hilarious.
It is, for sure. Well, thank you for sharing that, definitely.
Yep.
All right, well, I'll go next. And I think for this episode, I'm focusing all on Black History Month, being that this is February. And so my 3 things today are all going to be, or at least have a Black history theme to it, even if they're not all instilled in Black history. And then maybe even throughout the month, I'll do one thing that's like an all Black show even, for that matter, just something to kind of focus on that. But I'm going to talk about Women of the Movement on ABC. And that actually is the story of Mamie Till Mobley. I can't get it out. Today's one of those days. But Emmett Till his mom was Mamie Till Mobley, and she actually is, for those of you, I think pretty much a lot of people know the story of Emmett Till, but for those who don't, he was actually murdered in Mississippi. And so in August 1955. And so basically it starts off on this TV show right now, I think it's 6, 7, I can't remember, 8 episodes, something like that. But basically it starts off with her, being pregnant and having Emmett Till. And she basically, when she has him, he actually is someone who's born and his umbilical cord was actually around his neck. So when he was born, the doctor was, he was breached. The doctor was like, look, we're really not going to give him much time to live. You may even want to put him in an institution. He's not going to have full brain capacity, the whole 9 yards. And she basically was like, no, I want to keep my son. I want to, have him in my life, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, nobody ever knows this. Nobody knows this part of this.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I watched this show. And so basically, she ends up being kind of protective of him, of course. And so some uncles come from the South up to their area of Chicago, and he's like, look, he needs to know from a man, like, how do you till the breast and how do you do this? Let him come down to the South. Let him come to Mississippi. And she was like, no, I really don't want him to go down there. And then, finally she gives in. And the uncle's like, we got him. Like, let him come with his cousin. His cousin already comes down here all the time. And she was like, look, well, let me tell you the ways of living in the South. Yeah. You don't look people in the eye. You're very polite. You say, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. She said, I don't care if you have to kneel on the sidewalk if you have to. Like, just do things in the proper way because it's completely different down there than it is in Chicago. And he's like, yeah, Mama, I got it, whatever. So he goes off. Well, it happens to be an incident at a local store where a guy kind of, I guess you would say, kind of eggs him on and says, hey, Mr. Chicago, why don't you go in there and holler at that girl who's behind the counter? And his cousin is like, look, don't listen to these guys sitting out here on the porch. Don't do that. You're in the South. You can't. And he was like, oh, I dealt with white ladies all the time. You're like, white girls at my school, in Chicago. It's no big deal. Like, so he goes in and he's not flirty. He just goes in and it's like, hi, how are you? He's looking at her in the eye. She's looking at him like, why are you looking at me?
Yeah, why are you talking to me?
Right, why are you talking to me? He pays for it. We pays for it. His little cousin is standing outside the door and is like, come on, let's go. So then they leave. She immediately comes out. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, bye. And he's talking to her. And she goes to the car and gets a gun. God. And so they all get in their cars, like all the guys, the ones who were playing cards or something on the porch, as well as that were trying to egg him on, and the ones that he came with, all his cousins, they all just got in the car, drove. So then they end up getting home. They're in their bed asleep. And it's probably, this is actually a couple of days later. The husband finds out that there was a quote unquote incident with his wife's job. So the husband of the woman is like, why didn't you tell me about this? And she was like, it was not a big deal. Like, I was handling it and I got the gun. And he was like, so it wasn't a big deal? Or did you have to get the gun? Like, it's going to be one or the other. So they realized that the Chicago boy was staying at the uncle's house, and they all knew the uncle because he grew up in that area. So therefore, they basically said to him that they basically came to the uncle's house and was like,
yo, I'm coming to him like, yo.
Yep, exactly. They came.
Where's this boy?
So they came inside, scaring the family to death, and they're like, this one, and he's like, no, that's my nephew, no, that's my own child, that's my kin, and he was like, is this a Chicago boy? And you could tell the uncle did not want to say yes. So anyway, the uncle had to give him somebody, and that was who they were looking for, right? So they took Emmett Till out, and basically you don't know what really happened, at least from the episodes I've watched. And so I don't think they exactly show what happened. They speak to it through trials and things of that nature. But long story short...
because nobody really knows what happened.
And nobody's going to really say, especially in the South. Even people who witness things sometimes
nobody's going to say anything.
Don't say it exactly. So, but basically, so his mom is home and she gets this call from the aunt saying that Emmett was taken in the middle of the night and kidnapped. And the mom is just like, wait, what? What's going on? And then the aunt hangs up. And so she's calling and trying to get in contact with the aunt and trying to figure out how she can connect with her, with her family there. And that, we're going to have to send people from Chicago down there to try to figure out what's going on. And then what ends up happening is she finally gets the call that he was murdered, like he's dead. And they found him. And he found him in a lake. And so she wanted to have his body brought back to Chicago, and all of the cover-up of what was going on in Mississippi, including some of the police officers. There were some that wanted it to be tried, and then others who were like, they wanted to find somebody, they found him. What's left? Like, what else do we need to do, So then they finally did find a mortician who would help package him up, send him to his mother in Chicago. And when she saw him, and you can actually Google pictures of Emmett Till and how he looked, but they basically beat him and put him in the lake to the point that he just swole. Like,
wasn't he like a barbed wire tied to like a cotton gin fan?
They had the fan out there, correct. You could see slits even on the show. They did show a reconstruction of kind of how he looked. So it was it's one of those shows that is extremely deep, extremely powerful. Of course, it's true, but also it's like you can't binge it because it's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much to binge. It's a reality, but it's just a lot to take in. And they even have something at the beginning of the show that talks about, this is going into information about previous racial situations that are accurate and true. But if you find that you're being triggered by this, then you can call this number, or you can text this line, or something to that effect. And so basically the mother just had a struggle, like just to get his body, she had a struggle. Just to get a grand jury to agree to even go after the guy who actually confessed. The husband confessed that he did something to a boy. But is this the boy?
Exactly.
I can't say that that's him, because he was also so distorted looking that it was hard to even tell if that was who it was. But his mom was like, no, I looked at him, I saw him, and I know that was my boy. Even though even the doctor or the mortician who sent him up there was like, do not let his mother see him in this condition. Like, she should not see him like this. And so basically she ended up going down south, and the guys did end up having to stand trial. A jury of all white men in the grand jury did say that they committed murder. And so there could be a trial. So she came down there, reporters everywhere, trying to make sure that, justice is served, so to speak. And then you had like half the courtroom wanting these guys to be convicted and half the courtroom not wanting the guys to be convicted.
It's like a time to kill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I can see why her story kind of made this show as being, a woman of the movement, because I looked at her and like she was just a strong woman. Like when she was, sometimes she would even get ready to break down, and then you would see her say, you know what? I want my son's actually take a picture of him, put him in the newspaper.
Put him everywhere,
I want you to show him.
He was on cover of magazines and everything.
I want everybody to see what they did, because what they did to him is so horrific that if they didn't show it, nobody would believe it.
Exactly, yeah. And people have to see that reality.
Right. And that is a tough thing for a parent to just imagine your own child that you're constantly seeing in the news, on TV, in a newspaper, constantly, images of what happened with him. And so that is, I won't go into the whole thing. I mean, anybody can figure out, and a lot of people already know how the story kind of went, but I just wanted to share that for Black History Month, Women of the Movement is a great show on ABC. It appears as though it'll be multiple seasons, and each season will have
somebody
new
different from the
movement.
That's awesome.
That they cover in detail their story. So that's what I had for my first topic.
That's awesome. That's good. I like that.
Yeah,
and you said it's on
like ABC. It's on ABC.
Can you watch it on Hulu and stuff?
Oh yeah, you can watch it on Hulu. That's where I ended up rewatching. Some of it is on Hulu, and it is, like I said, it's not an easy watch. No, but art history isn't easy either.
Yeah, that's very true.
So therefore, it's just the reality of what happened, and so, and interestingly enough, the Emmett Till story even plays into the next one that I'm going to talk about after this.
It does. I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
Where's the spoon?
Yeah. So we'll have you go next.
All right,
What's your number two?
Let me go ahead and go. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the 355.
The 355.
Yes,
Okay.
this is a movie that's only in theaters. It is about. So what it is, if you watch the trailer, you'll be able to know. But what it is that the government, years and years ago, I want to say like the Revolutionary War, they had like these women that were like spies for the government.
Okay.
And they did not say their name. They just called them 355.
Okay, numbers.
355.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it was not, like, people knew their name, but like people in the government knew their name, but outside of the government, nobody knew their name. They were just 355. Mm-hmm. Like, and it was, you don't know if it's to protect them or if it's to, like, is it to protect the person?
The government.
Something like that. Yeah. And then all of these people are like, basically how you could see, like, the CIA getting spies. It's like, oh, you're an orphan, you have no family? Come, let me go ahead and bring you into the government, and we just give you all the benefits, and you can just kill people for free. It's cool. It's awesome.
Great.
Yeah. Basically, that's how it is. So it's all these government spies. Ooh, this balls. Spies working for different countries. Having to come together to protect this one device from getting in the wrong hands.
Okay.
Now, this device can shut down the entire world.
Oh wow, that's
when I say shut down. Yeah, like make planes fall out of the sky.
Like it's just a technology device that can
cut power grids. I mean, it's like the size of a cell phone.
Oh wow! Okay.
Like it can, but it's like I guess it's like a hard drive or something that you would have to download stuff and everything. But still, whoever got
powerful,
got a hold of that can basically run the world. Because like, oh, you don't want to do what I asked you to do? Now let me go ahead and cut off the power to your whole country if I wanted to. Gotcha. That kind of thing, yeah. It's very action-packed. Very, very action-packed. Okay. These women are badasses. I'm trying to tell you, with the way that, like, how usually you watch a movie and then, like, when they're fighting, the camera's shaking, so you can't really... No. The camera is still, and these ladies... They want you to see every
hit... Yeah, whatever. So they're like killing machines, or are they maiming machines?
They are both. Okay. They are basically, we want answers. We'll do anything to get these answers or get this thing. So like, how do I explain it? So the main character is Jessica Chastain. Okay. She is for the U.S. She's working for the U.S. government. Don't really say what it is. It's probably like CIA, I guess it is. Okay. They don't really go into it. They also have Penelope Cruz, who is part of the Colombian government.
So they're all different governments.
Yeah, five different governments coming together to band together to protect the world. Okay. It's like a superhero movie, but women are superheroes. Right. But women are superheroes. Exactly. I feel like, absolutely. Like, you can give birth, you're a superhero. That's how exactly. I say it. Yeah.
How else does that happen other than having super powers?
So like I said, Jessica Chastain is the U.S., Penelope Cruz is the Colombian government, Bing Bing Fan, who is a Asian actress, she is the Chinese, she's working with the Chinese government. Diane Kruger is working with the German government, and then Lupita Nyong'o is working with the British government. Mm-hmm. So Jessica Chastain starts, she goes and sees Lupita, she just jumps up and just like, hey, old friend, and she's just like, oh, God, not again. Because like every time that they see each other, it's always, okay, there's going to be a lot of killing. Like,
I know what's
I'm either going to be killing people, I might get killed, it's going to be so stressful. Yeah. Like, so every time that they see each other, it's just like, God, I saw your face. And now I'm just like, please, God, no. Mm-hmm. But, like the fighting scenes, so good. Okay. So good. When I say so good, I mean, the way that they had to have practiced, because you can actually see it's their face. Like, it's not like they had a stunt double doing this stuff. These women had...
they had to train
They had to have, unless if not, they got some great CGI, because if I see Jessica Chastain's face or Bing Bing Fang's face the whole time, I'm like, oh, you had to go through a lot of training to do that. So... oh my God, so action-packed. It takes you, like, it's a roller coaster ride of, like, emotions and, like, edge of your seat type thing. And, buildings are blowing up. Like, little coffee shops are, like, blowing up and stuff like that. It's so much action.
Okay.
It's like let's say it's like John Wick on like hormones.
Oh wow.
Hormone replacement John Wick. You know what I'm saying? Like estrogen John Wick.
Oh my goodness.
Times 5. But yeah, everybody, if you get a chance to go to the theaters and see it, or if you just want to wait till it comes out, it is called 355.
355.
Yeah.
All right. And it's a movie,
theaters.
in theaters. And I guess I wonder how long is it one of those, do you know if it's going to be like, some of these now they're doing like, 60, 90 days after release, it's going to be on TV somewhere.
Information.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
It might be.
Yeah.
But I feel like the movie theaters are starting to open back up. I don't think they're doing that anymore because, how bad it was. What was it?
They stopped it with a bunch of different things.
What was the movie that really made everything go, like, they were just like, okay, why did we do that? Was it, not Wonder Woman?
I can't remember. No, because Wonder Woman definitely came out.
Oh, was it Black Widow?
Maybe Black Widow.
I think Black Widow, they released it, wasn't it like in theaters and on Disney, and then nobody
people didn't really take to it. And they did say that now that Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie was only in theaters and it was the first movie since the pandemic to make over $1 billion.
Yeah,
so
I believe because people want to go outside.
We want to go ahead and get back into the theaters. I personally am not a fan of doing that just yet, but to each its own,
I mean, if you have those theaters that are like the ones where you can sit down and eat, you got a lot of space.
Yeah, ideally you would
instead of the ones that are just like instead of the ones that are like airplane seats.
Yeah, that they're just right beside each other and you don't have reserved seating, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. So, because this one, those ones, you can pick where you want to sit.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That might be a plus.
All right, well, thank you for that one.
355.
355. All right.
What you got next?
I am going to go to Lovecraft Country on HBO.
Ooh.
So Lovecraft Country, came out in 2020. And it is based on the books by H.P. Lovecraft, who wrote horror fiction and by all accounts was actually seen as a literary racist in the early 1920s and 1900s. And those aren't my words. If you Google him, it literally says that he's a literary racist. But basically, at first, I was really trying to understand, like, why is it that they would cast a show of basically all minorities to be affiliated with something that is named after a person who is a literary racist, right? And so basically what I found out is that it's not really an ode to H.P. Lovecraft, but instead writers and filmmakers of color have taken his ideas and turned them on their head, almost probably making him flip over in his grave, really. But basically retelling his stories from a perspective of Black characters, where the characters are not his victims like they are in his books, but instead they're the victors of the news stories that are being told in his sci-fi horror kind of realm. And so basically Lovecraft Country is based on a book by Matt Ruff. And so it's the same name for Matt Ruff's book. I actually purchased it on Audible.
Yeah.
And after I watched the series, wanted to kind of see what the book was about.
Yeah, we both did that.
Yeah. And it was really good. And I think that the show actually did speak to the book very closely. Like, I mean,
it's super close, but then it still has it to where the show does things to where it's not in the book.
Correct. And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So Lovecraft Country starts off really fantastical and kind of strange, honestly. So it looks like somebody is fighting a war, like maybe even World War II, more than likely. And then what happens is there's aliens that are also kind of in the sky and people being shipped down to Earth and big laser lights and stuff. So it's like, wait, we're in World War II, but we're also having to deal with aliens. Like, what the heck is going on? And so it's just like, wait, how did this even happen? And so basically, the man who was dreaming wakes up and he's on a bus and he's leaving the South, heading towards the North. And he's kind of leaving that Jim Crow era behind, which is a lot of what the first show I was talking about, it was about with Jim Crow in the South. But anyway, so the bus they were on breaks down and he and another woman, a Black woman who were on the bus, because they were Black, they had to walk walk the rest of the way to their destination, where other people, they brought a bus to pick up all the others and take them where they were going, but the black people had to walk the rest of the way. So finally he arrives at his uncle's house, and it's all because his father's missing. And so his father is played by Michael K. Williams, R.I.P. He recently passed away from a drug overdose in real life. And his father had wrote him a note to let him know that they had family in Lovecraft Country and that basically he got kidnapped. They're assuming he was taken to Lovecraft Country. So now the journey begins of just trying to find where his father is. And so the music in this show, the spoken word that's in this show, the music doesn't even always line up to the generation of the time it is. Like it might be the 1950s or 60s, but you're hearing Cardi B, or something like that. So it's just very different and strange, in that regard. But it's very powerful. The cinematography is amazing. It shifts from one way to another. It's 1 minute you're looking at something and it looks normal. The next minute is something mystical, like out of this world, like the aliens in the first scene.
I feel like I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, it's just so good. And every time you would watch it, you would get...
You pick up something different.
Something new, for sure.
A new little Easter egg.
And, honestly, it throws you off initially because, like, for me, I watched it and I was like, ooh, this is weird and quirky. I love it. I'm going to keep watching. You and I think Terry were like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. And then I actually started to get into it. The more, because remember, we used to sit down, we used to talk about it, and then we, YouTube stuff.
Yeah, you have to almost. Yeah, to find out about it and what's going on.
Twins, understanding what was going on with the twin girls.
Oh my gosh, the girls. It was a lot. All I'm going to talk about in this is just the first episode. First episode. So I'll give y'all a glimpse into it. So with Atticus, who is played by Jonathan Major, he's the main character of the show, and he goes by Tick. So it's Atticus, but he goes by Tick. And the other main character, he's the one looking for his father. And then another character, I won't really say main, but it's Courtney B. Vance, who plays Tick's uncle, and he's George Freeman. Mm-hmm. And then you also have Letitia, who is Letty, basically. And that's Jussie Smollett's sister in real life.
So you don't even have to say Jussie. Nobody's even talking about him anymore.
It's Journey Smollett.
He's canceled.
He is canceled, but I'm just saying that she is an amazing actress already accomplished.
She was the original one that was in the family,
before him.
The Cosby Show.
Yeah, she was little in acting, so she's amazing. But I'm just putting things in context. That's all it is. Okay. Anyway, so Courtney B. Vance's character, George Freeman, he actually is somebody who creates travel guides, and that is a true thing. We used to have a traveler's guide back in the day so that Black people would know where the friendly places in the South were to go. Yep, the Green Book. And so basically, as a part of that journey, Atticus is like, okay, well, I'll go with you on your next trip if you're going through Lovecraft Country. And then Letty is like, I'm always up for an adventure too. I'll go ahead. So she comes as well. She's more of a free-spirited person who just came back to town, but is like, hey, I'll pick up and go with you guys. And so basically they start their journey. The uncle has incorrect information this time around about a friendly restaurant because it's not so friendly.
Not no more.
And then the next thing you know, while they're there, they realize that their lives are about to be in jeopardy. So they hop in their car, they just take off.
Peel off.
And they're being chased by these guys with guns and they're, shooting at them basically because all they wanted to do was eat in this restaurant. And somebody picked up the phone and said, hey, there's some people here trying to eat and I don't know what to do. So the whole thing ensues. So as they're being chased, all of a sudden this gray car, really fancy gray car out of nowhere.
Yeah, it seems like a Rolls Royce.
Something like that just comes into the whole race just in general. And in between them and the other car, and then all of a sudden the car that's shooting at them flips over, or the truck, and crashes. Doesn't look like they even hit the gray car. Can't tell anything. And then flips over. And then a white woman gets out, looks at Atticus, who's looking out the back window of their car because they stopped to kind of say, wait, did they just crash? What happened? Yeah. And he saw her, she saw him, and he's like, okay, let's just take off. Let's just go. And he doesn't know who she is. He doesn't know why she did it or what's going on, but they were saved basically by this scenario. And so they stay overnight at somebody's house. They end up finding out that where they're heading is a place where witch hunters actually founded it. And that travelers would go missing sometimes in the woods by either wolves or some other animals. They really weren't sure. Yeah. And the sheriff there also had no problems killing outsiders as well. And there was also this scenario because there used to be states with sundown laws, meaning that black people could not be on the road in their county once the sun went down.
A lot of people didn't even know that.
A lot of people didn't know that was a thing. But again, all of this goes right into the history of everything. And then, so it is something that is real. It is something that was in effect actually just up until the 1960s. Some of the places have gotten rid of their sundown laws.
There's still some states, I'm pretty sure, some counties
that probably are trying to
best get from around these parts for sundown.
So after a good night of rest and getting back on the road, they're on their way to Lovecraft. They come across a sheriff who immediately questions them and chases them out of town before sundown. And I mean, he's riding on their butt as they're trying to just get out of that town before the sun sets. Well, lo and behold, as soon as they get across the county line, guess what? Other sheriffs are waiting for them in the next county with guns. No. So they're like, well, we got out of one county, but we didn't get out. We're still on the road, basically. So we're in another county. So these folks, which includes the sheriff that they were warned about, their person they were staying with, warned them that, hey, there's a sheriff in one of the Lovecraft places where he's not scared to, take care of people. So they run into him. And they're taking out their cars, gunpoint, into the woods, basically. And they're just like...
They're just going.
Okay,
we gotta get 'em.
We're here. We don't know what to do other than to follow their rules. So it's Letty, it's Atticus, it's Uncle George. They're all laying on the ground. And they start hearing this noise while these guys are, like, having their guns drawn on him. And... they don't know what the noises are. They can't tell what's going on.
Nobody, like the police,
even the police, nobody
like,
knows.
What is
and
that?
So all of a sudden, basically everything ensues. Like, I mean, it's just chaos ensues, and I won't go into all the details of it because that part itself is amazing, weird, strange, but like. What the heck just happened?
And what is continuing to happen after that just happened?
After that, exactly.
What is going
on? But it's very, I guess the best way to think of this show, if you're going to watch it, is that it has a weird and mystical sci-fi side. It's horror, but it's also, it's like, it's horrific, but it's beautiful. It's like fantastical. It's supernatural. It looks like a regular TV show that you're watching, then something completely crazy and out of the blue happens, and you're like,
what the hell was that?
What is going on? And so, but it does hit on amazing historical Black history as well, like the burning of Tulsa and the Black Wall Street. And then also in regards to Emmett Till, because as I talked about Emmett Till earlier, Emmett Till actually, they all went to Emmett Till's funeral because they were all in Chicago.
They could smell his body.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Like it was the worst heat.
It was like they was like she would wait till the hottest day of the summer to go ahead and have his.
It was just
his
a terrible.
Show,
Yeah, it was just it just puts everything in perspective and kind of gives you a full circle experience. But like I said, I have only shared the first episode.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's only the first episode.
And when I tell you episode 5,
all of the episodes,
all of them, but no, episode 5 was the episode where I have never seen anything like that on TV before in my life.
Yeah.
Like that one. It was like a whole other level, and like it starts off, like episode 5 starts off in a really crazy, strange way. But then you have, being in space. And then you have like, I mean, it's so many weird, quirky things to it. But exactly. But it is just so.
It's so much.
But it's so beautiful.
Yeah, but each episode, how long is each episode? It's like
an hour.
It was an hour and change.
No, I think most of them were about an hour roughly because it's on HBO and it's just
each episode is kind of like a mini movie. It's like a it's like a mini
that
movie.
carries on to the next episode.
Yeah.
So like at the end, Atticus is told "Welcome home," and he's in Lovecraft, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And then you're like drawn into, well, let me watch the next episode to see why is this place home for him when he's never been here before.
It's so much.
So yeah, it's a lot. But
there's
anyway,
like creatures from everybody's just gonna have to Google stuff as you watch the show to get more information to understand what each thing is and what like each person like and all this other stuff. I mean, it's so much because I remember being on Google, like I swear it was like the whole episode. It was like pause, Google. Okay,
Yeah.
what
See,
is
and I
this?
wouldn't do that as much as I would at the end of the episode go to like a YouTube and say, okay, explain to me episode 3.
Yeah.
You know, and
But then you have to watch a
that's
couple
a lot
of
of
them.
work, but in actuality, it's really not
No,
because
because
you
it's-
want to have that in-depth knowledge of where they were taking you in case it went over your head and you missed it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I really enjoyed about it. And then I even joined like a Facebook group for Lovecraft Country.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
And it was so much information that people were sharing on there. I was like, wait, what? Is that what it was?
We
Oh
really
my
got
goodness.
into that. We were deep.
And I wanted it to be a season 2. I would have loved to have seen a season 2, but it ends with it looking like a true ending for season 1, that there would never be another show.
Exactly.
There were talks of there being a season 2 called Supremacy.
Yeah, but I don't even know what they would even have to go into. Like, there would have to be a whole nother book by somebody else or something.
No,
like that.
they could figure it out from what they wanted to do. With
I mean,
what
I
was
got you.
left over from the people who survived it. You know?
But
at the same
it's not going to
time-
be based on the book from.
No, not based on
Ruff.
his book, but it's just like Handmaid's Tale. They had one book and they got 5, 6 something seasons out of it. So
look at
you
Game
just
of Thrones. They took one book out of a whole like Encyclopedia Britannica thing of books and made a show. Isn't it like just one book out of a bunch of them?
yeah, but they at least partnered with the creative person and said, "Hey, we're taking this characters this direction. What do you think?" Kind of thing like that. But anyway, so okay, enough about that. But that was Lovecraft Country again on HBO. Amazing show. It's weird. It's quirky. It's wonderful. Yeah.
check
Okay.
it out.
Awesome.
All right, thanks for that one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go into a documentary.
Okay.
Okay, my documentary is called "The Tinder Swindler."
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody swindling people on Tinder.
Yes, absolutely. This is a true story. It is wild. It is crazy. It really, really makes you think about stuff like who you actually meet. Like, Google is not going to give you all the answers for certain people. Like, for people, you know, Google's only going to give you what's out on the internet already.
Right.
So
you're saying everybody should do background checks on people?
yeah, find somebody in the FBI, you know, give them the social. See, no, I'm just kidding. It's this guy. It goes by the name of Simon Leviev.
Okay.
Okay. He swindles women out of money. He dates them. He befriends them. And it starts off by these women looking for love on Tinder. And he is a billionaire. Like, he comes off that he's a billionaire. So he's private jets. He is in Mykonos. He is like everywhere. They're in what's the name of the place with the Blue Lagoon? Iceland.
Oh, Iceland, yeah.
They're everywhere. Like, if it's somewhere that needs to be, he is there.
Okay.
He is like Visa, everywhere you want to be. Okay.
Got it.
So he has all these elaborate pictures. Like, he's like spending money. Like, he has extreme, like, all his clothes are off the chain. Like, amazing. He's eating dinner that's like covered in gold and all this different, like, you know, abalone and caviar and all this other stuff with like gold flakes and truffles and all this other stuff. Like, you know, stuff that costs so much
money. Yeah.
So he has all these pictures out, private jets, like I said, luxurious hotels. Like, he's at the hot clubs, popping bottles. Money is no issue to him.
Okay.
He meets these women, does the same story to each and every one of these women about, I love you, I want to start a family with you. I mean, he's working like 3 women at once.
Oh, wow.
Because he's like, oh, I'm so important. Like, my business is doing this. He's supposed to be the son of a diamond tycoon and dealer.
Okay.
So with that being said, he's just like, oh, I have to go do this deal in Tel Aviv. And then in Tel Aviv, he's actually meeting somebody else there.
Got it.
Or I have to go to Norway and he's meeting somebody, like a whole other woman in Norway.
How does he get money from these women if he is saying that he already is rich as the son of the diamond?
This is how.
Okay.
This is how. He has pictures of his bodyguard.
Okay.
Beat up. Bloody. He has blood on his shirt. He takes this picture and he sends it to like one of the women who's on this documentary. It's just like, we just got attacked. Like their people are coming for us. Blah blah blah. And then she's like, oh my God, are you okay? He was like, I'll let you know when I get somewhere safe. automatically, I love this man. I'm scared for his life. Whatever he needs, I'm going to do for him
to protect him. Yeah.
Then it's like they barely talk back and forth, and then it's okay. They're tracking me through my credit cards. Like, I can't spend any money, but I still have to go through and do these deals. And if they're tracking me through my credit cards, like, how am I going to make the money to be able to do this and make my father proud? And the women are just like, okay, like, well, tell me, what can I do? And he's just like, well, if you can get a credit card or something like that I will be able to use, and then once everything is blown over, I will pay you right back.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, no problem.
Yeah, you're rich.
So what happens? First time they get the credit card, boom, he sends them money immediately. Oh, you just need like $5,000? No problem.
Yeah.
You need $2,000? No problem.
Gotcha.
Give you money back. He gives you you give him $2,000, he'll give you $10,000.
Okay.
That's to gain your trust even more. Then what does he do?
He raises his
Can you up the limit? Like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. They're like, okay, yeah, no problem. Let me take this loan out. I'll go ahead and do this. Let me take this loan out. Okay, I need to get another loan. Okay, my company is wiring you this money. Okay, it's left my account. It's been 3 days. It's already left my account. It should be in your account soon.
Oh my
now
gosh.
These women it's $10 million that he has swindled women out of.
Oh my goodness.
$10 million.
And it's not even a fake show. Like, it's real.
Yeah, so he's like making women love him and trust him. Like, he'll take the women out. He'll be like, hey, you want to, like, I have this business thing.
He has money from other women that he's using to take these women out.
Yes, but that's how he does. He's like, all right, so I meet this lady. She's lonely. She has cats. You know?
Yeah. So she gave me $50,000 thinking that I'm in some crazy
No, this
remote
one lady
area.
gave him $240,000.
Right, but I'm saying even if she gave him 50, he's using that 50 to wine and dine 2 other women or however many other women.
Yeah, and he might just be spending like $10,000 with them for one day.
Right.
And then he's in more trouble. And
right.
then those ladies now have to pay him.
Yeah, then those ladies
and they're always thinking, like, but we've seen the money. He has the money. It's always cash, or like, and sometimes he'll use his credit card, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, he got these ladies in so deep, he's like, all right, I have my own jet. Send me a picture of your passport so I can go ahead and get everything situated so we can fly. Now, these women are deep. So now when they go and they stop and they don't want to be with him anymore, they want to shut it down. He says, I know everything about you. I know where you live. I have your passport information. I will kill you.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And the way that this, I mean, like, he is not, like, it's so much into the, well, I'm not going to say it's so much, but I mean, it's layers into it of how deep he gets these women, like, emotionally invested in him.
Yeah. I mean, but how much time does it take for these women to get that emotionally invested?
Oh, no, it takes a while. Like, this one lady, he thought that he was going to be, like, dating, and she was just like, yeah, you're fun, but be a bit much for me to, like, date someone like you, so maybe we should remain friends.
Okay, so he doesn't get everybody with his charming ways.
No. I mean, but probably just, like, to sleep with or whatever, but he has to get the right ones.
That are going to give him the money.
The lonely ones, or the ones that probably have, like, good jobs or something like that.
It's terrible, because now these women are struggling
in debt,
and
everything is in their name,
their retirement and whatever,
and everything is in their name. Nothing is in his name. They're taking loans out for him in their name. They have credit cards for him
that they have to pay back
in their name, and he is just
off with the wind.
Yeah, like $10 million. So he is the smartest idiot ever.
Oh gosh. So I mean, I don't even want to spoil it, but it's so intriguing. I'll probably watch it anyway. But
yeah,
like,
you have to watch it.
Okay, you won't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you.
I just want to know if he got caught, as I'm sure everybody else wants to know. Like, did he get caught? So don't tell us. Don't tell us. But we'll have to watch.
No. I mean, it's a documentary. So I mean,
I know, but I'm saying that we'll just have to watch and see. And let us know this. Do you have his name? Like, what's his name? The guy who was
his real name.
Because we can at least Google him. Even.
Sorry, I have to sneeze. It's not coming out.
Okay.
He is Israeli, so he was going by that name, Simon Lviv. But hold on, let me find out what his name was.
Well, I was just wondering. I'm sorry.
I had it a second ago, and then I took it away. But
okay, I was just wondering, because if nothing else, you can Google to kind of see a little bit of his story and find out if the documentary on it will be intriguing enough to watch.
Oh no, this documentary was definitely intriguing to watch. I mean, the sad thing is that now that he's done this, like how many other people are going to try to do this? You know, because
hopefully people are smarter now than they had been potentially when he tried to do this. Because how long ago was this too?
I don't think it was that long ago.
No.
The time frames, I can't remember what the time frames were because it was at the beginning of the documentary. But
okay.
I mean, it was recent. It's pretty recent.
It wasn't like even the 80s or anything like
no,
that.
No. This is like within the last 5 years.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
But his name was Shimon Hayat. Hayut.
Okay.
Shimon Hayut.
And he just came up with this elaborate scheme and just
he
ran
actually
with it.
took somebody. So the person that he was supposed to be was the son of the diamond tycoon, who was an actual real person.
He took his identity.
No, he didn't take his identity. He made up another person.
Oh,
like the tycoon is a real person. He just made up.
He just made up. I'm his son, and people don't do their research, so they didn't even probably look to see does the picture of the son actually match up to the guy that I'm talking to.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's no son, it could be like, yeah, I'm really private. I don't like to.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't put any of my information out because my father deals with like very sketchy people.
Yeah, and I don't want anybody to take advantage of me. Where in actuality, you're taking advantage of everybody else.
Everybody. I mean, like, there are so many people who are just like, oh, yeah, he used to babysit my kids. Like, oh, yeah, he had me be his chauffeur, and $300,000 later, I've never gotten paid back for it.
Oh, my gosh. That's terrible. So I feel for these women. I definitely
Oh, yeah, it's not just women.
Anybody
I mean, it's like
who
everybody,
gets Yeah, I feel for anybody.
But I mean, like, good Lord, like, it seems so stressful and so tired for you to do that just for you to...
if you would use that knowledge for good instead of for evil, how much more would you have?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? How much better would you be as a person? But
well, check that out. The Tinder Swindler on Netflix.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. What you got?
All right. So I have as my last topic a black female battalion called the 688 during World War II. 688. 6888. So basically, during the World War II, you know, of course, it's a lot going on, a lot of chaos, things of that nature. And there were thousands of pieces of mail that were sent to the United States troops, and it was starting to pile up. And so I'm looking at the Today Show, and Al Roker did a story with this lady, Lena King, from this battalion. And basically, it was the only African-American, all-woman, all-African-American battalion that participated in World War II. So it's really cool. So basically, and it's one of those things you don't hear about through Black history. So that's why I'm bringing it up.
And it might be something like, see, why they always gotta give women numbers? You can't put your name out there.
What do you mean?
So like with the
but every battalion, every army battalion, the army battalion was So it was 688 was the army battalion name because all the military people talk about their battalion numbers and I was a member of the blah blah blah, that kind of thing. So no, it wasn't like your TV show. I mean your movie.
Also, thank you for your service, everybody.
Right
in the military.
In the military, yes, absolutely. So basically, to sort through more than 2 years worth of letters that the troops had received, they really just wanted to feel connected to home. So the Army created a battalion called the 6888 Central Postal Directory Battalion. And they actually were a group of, like I said, all female, all Black unit that was sent overseas during the war. So almost 80 years after the women paved the way for other Black service people in regards to the military. Al did sit down with a lady, Lena King. She's 99 years old. Oh, wow. She's one of only 6 remaining living survivors of this battalion unit. That's deep. And she enlisted in the military after a childhood friend was shot down in battle. So she just said that I was expecting that I had to just do something to aid our country. So I felt that I needed to contribute. So in February of 1945, King's unit set sail for Europe to sort through and route millions of pieces of undelivered mail. Again, just to help the service people feel more connected to their family because it was just going over there and nobody was doing anything with it. Yeah. And so they arrived at a warehouse in Birmingham, England that contained 10 airplane hangars full of mail.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's so.
It's overwhelming.
It's just immediate anxiety.
Right,
God.
exactly. And so, although the U.S. and the military were still segregated during World War II, millions of African Americans registered for the draft and to volunteer for their service. This woman was one of the people who registered to support this effort. And she recalls saying there were just piles and piles and stacks of these big bags of unopened mail. And some, she said, had even been gnawed on by rats and things of that nature. So it was so hard to even figure out who the mail was supposed to go to. So they created sorting teams of 3 8-hour shifts, 24 hours a day, every single day. And she and other women kind of worked 78 hours a week, basically, to try to get through all of this mail. And so she said their motto was no mail, no morale. So our boys aren't going to have morale if they don't have their mail. Yeah. So we're going to do what we need to do. So she said they promised that they would get it done, and they did. So some of the letters had common names like Robert or John with like no real information on it, like John Smith. Well, then how do we know which John Smith is the right John Smith? So they had to spend time going through messages, trying to figure out what the person's full name was, what their family name was, who it was, so that way they could route it to the right person. The 6888 had 855 minority women who were a part of that battalion total. And again, only 6 are living right now. So almost 900 members. They were told that they only had 6 months to get it done, and the women accomplished their goal in half that time, sorting approximately 17 million pieces of mail.
Because women are amazing.
Women are magical.
Like, seriously.
Yep. And so the 6888 was completely celebrated in Europe. But when they returned stateside because of Jim Crow segregation, again, third story about Jim Crow segregation, she said there were no parades, there were no thank yous, there really wasn't anything for us, but overseas we were really celebrated. And so basically they did say that in April 2021, the Senate passed legislation granting the women this acknowledgement, like an acknowledgement of their service. And over the next couple of weeks, the House of Representatives is set to vote on a bill to actually make them get the accolades that they're due in regards to being members of World War II and the 6888 battalion. 6888. So yes, I thought that was a very
like amazing.
I had some tough stories to talk about today, but that one was such a beautiful, powerful story of just how there are women, and some of the women are over 100. Yeah. Like Al was saying, like, I think that of the 6 women, it was a few over 100. She was 99.
What are these ladies doing for their daily regiment that people live for that long? Because I don't understand. Like, should we never eat anything unless we grow it ourselves?
No. I think that a lot of times on that Smucker's jar, I tell you, they say things like, I have my glass of sherry every night, or I eat oatmeal every day, or I smoke 1 cigar a week, or, it's not really, some of it's just going to be genetic or potentially good genes.
Or they don't have McDonald's in their system.
That's true. I do think that a lot of older people don't have a lot of the things that we now eat, because I remember our grandmother, she wouldn't eat, she didn't eat Chinese, she didn't eat
like
all the carbs, she was like, okay, unless it's like
I'll eat it.
Right.
Boiled chicken. What? You have green beans? Just put a little bit of oil in there. What? You want no ham in this?
Right.
You got to get that ham hock. No, you don't want the ham hock.
Ham hock. Yeah. Right, so I think it just depends on how you, how your start can help to figure out your finish, but it's never too late though at the same time. And I think that's why so many people at certain stages of their life are like, you know what, when I go vegan, or when I even try something like vegetarian for a month, how much better I feel. So if I feel that way, maybe that's what I should do and change my diet. I've gone vegan and this is what I can do. I've cut out the carbs. The bread itself and pasta alone is what's making me feel bad. So let me cut that out and then see how I feel. So I don't know if there's any magic pill. If it was, somebody would be extremely rich.
But I know Miss Hicks got it.
I don't know that.
Miss Hicks from
Miss Hicks. I thought you said Mitch Hicks.
No, Miss Hicks. Miss Hicks. She looks the same.
Yeah, all day.
Fountain of youth. I don't understand. Yeah. How do you look the same in 1968
as you do
yearbook
in 2000?
And a 2003 yearbook, it's the same picture, different hairstyle. She could be one of those Lovecraft people. We don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, on that note, we are going to end this episode.
Shout out to
Thank you,
Miss
everybody, for joining us today on our episode of Sestra-Tainment.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Take care. See you next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.